Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
Welcome, everybody, to PWZ, part of ProWrestlingWire.com. And this is Rick Del Santo. I got somebody here today that I'm looking forward to talking to for quite some time now. It's the chosen one, Jay Vara. What's going on?
What's up, man? Rick, good to see you again, even though it's through a Zoom meeting. But, man, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think we'll be seeing each other again very soon. We're always running into each other at shows now.
Definitely. We definitely will, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about your career today. Let's go way back. When did you discover when did you discover professional wrestling? It's always professional wrestling is so unique and special, and the way people discover it is always a very unique and special way. So why don't we start with that?
Yeah, man. Well, my obsession with pro wrestling started at when I was yay high, little kid, and then my parents, actually, my father took me to my first WWE show in Madison Square Garden, and then after that, I went out with my cousin, and he was like, "Hey, let's go see some WWE." That was his thing back then, and I remember we got home and we were watching Raw, and Jericho and The Rock were pretty much going head to head on the mic. And after, it was like a soap opera that I was just like, I got to keep watching this. And then they were going back and forth. And it's funny, it wasn't even the physical stuff. It was the jabs at each other consistently, just going back and forth. I was like,
and that's two of the best right there. That's two of the best to do it right there. So,
and it's funny because I was back in '99. So I was like blown away. I was like, this is all of wrestling? Like, wrestling is encompasses so many little things in entertainment, and it's like you saw like a verbal jousting. I had not seen that for like ever. I was always into watching the matches, and then I saw that, and I'm like, wow, this is a whole nother aspect to it that I was intrigued by. But yeah, man.
Yep,
definitely.
So what made you decide, and how did you come across training and finding? I see that you trained with the unpredictable one, Johnny Rodz.
Yes, sir. Johnny, man. I got a lot of love for Johnny, pretty much opening the doors for a lot of guys in the East Coast. He opened the doors for Matt Stryker, Big Cass, Devon, Bubba, Tommy Dreamer, and then, all the ECW brethren, they're pretty much through Johnny Rodz. And little by little, he started giving an opportunity to, to more younger guys. It was the next 10 years, the following generation. And I started at Johnny's in '09, and I kind of was just going to school, paying my dues, helping set up the ring, doing matches, impromptu matches, and cutting my teeth in Brooklyn, and it's one of my best experiences. Like, I cherish those memories because it was a good amount of time that I got to go to school, and then I was able to implement it a couple of years later on the road, and then all those lessons in the office that Johnny taught us. A lot of the training was in the office. There was time in the ring, but when he called you over, when you could see you in the ring, and he's like, "Hey, come on over." It was a lesson. He was about to school you on something that you did wrong in the ring, or a story from back in the day. All his stories, there's always something to learn, and those times I'll never forget. It was a great time, and then I started pretty much traveling and taking it out and about, and actually training in other locations, which I recommend everybody to do, to learn from different locations. Yes, get your foundation in your primary school, but you gotta reach out and see other styles. and build your own style, because 2-3 years in, you're still a baby in wrestling. You gotta like mesh and intertwine with other styles. The more you go, the more you grow, and you know the package will be complete, no pun intended, but you'll get it together the more the years come by. So yeah, it was my start, Johnny Rodz.
Where else did you got out there, like you said, and trained elsewhere as well? Where else would you say that you trained?
Yeah, man. I tried. I went over to DJ Hyde at CCW, and then we were training one summer. I remember MJF was the champ. He was just there watching everybody train, and then he was just like, "Hey, you guys ever tried checked out WXW in Germany?" And I'm like, "I would love to." I was there with one of my friends, Steve Pena, and we were killing it. Like 2 hours already in, so it was downtime, and then he was suggested try going to WXW Germany. And in 2000, I believe 17, I ended up going to Essen, Germany, and staying in the academy for about a month, and met a lot of cool guys. Alex Rotation. I met so many guys that they came from all walks of life and brought what they learned into WXW, and that month there was amazing. I met Gunter. I met Timothy Thatcher, a great trainer of mine.
That guy's awesome guy. Oh my god, that guy's awesome. Yeah,
amazing. I learned so much from staying there with them and just picking up their habits. You know, it's good habits, because it's all about training, eating right, going to the gym, going to train every day, and then just trying different new things and seeing how you evolve slowly in another country. And honestly, like, I came back with so much knowledge to the States and implemented it in the ring. And you can see it now, like my style, it's a mix of a little bit of everything. So Germany was a great experience. I would love to go back and wrestle out there again. So definitely a good experience.
They have a very unique style in Germany. It's a little bit different, like that European style, you know?
Yeah, it's a mix. Yeah. A strong style and a lot of the British strong style. It's really, really cool to see, and kind of, just pick it up. You always pick something up in every match. Every match I watch, there's always something to learn,
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the UK, the British style, like in Britain?
Yeah. I wrestled for Sanjay Baga and LDN. A lot of guys from the East Coast have gone there. Darius Carter. I know the bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Oh, what the hell? Pete Dunne. Yep. Thank you. So
he was there years ago, but MJF went there, Flip, Gordon, a lot of guys that you see now on TV and ROH and all these promotions that AEW, these guys cut their teeth in London, and it was like a 1 week tour. I was another amazing time, breaking down the ring, paying your dues pretty much, breaking down, setting up, staying up all night, 8-hour, 9-hour drives. I went to Wales. It was amazing, like the reaction, the way people react to just a small wrist lock and a hammer lock, and it just, as long as it makes sense, it's nothing but oohs and ahs, and like that clap, that very cool to experience the British style of wrestling. And I give it up to Sanjay. He was a great host, and I'd love to go back. Wrestling is everywhere, so it's a good vibe out there too.
Yeah, I love that style, like the catch can style, the chain wrestling, what have you, and it's amazing because it's like the less is more, and the people react differently as opposed to, say, gigantic flips and the hardcore stuff. And just to me, I get so invested in a pure wrestling match. It's just, to me, that's pure amazement.
It's beautiful. It's a work of art, and you don't have to do the flippy stuff all the time. It's cool to do that, and I give it to the guys that practice that, and acrobatics are amazing. But when you could just tell a story with what you learned and chain, and eventually building up peaks and valleys, it's all about peaks and valleys, and British style, they definitely know how to do it. They know how to present that style to the
team. It was dead there for a number of years, and I was, I read a lot and listen to a lot of interviews and stuff, but that scene was dead there for a while, and then I guess it's kind of reignited a little bit over the last few years.
Yeah, hopefully it does make a comeback. They're sound on their wrestling, and they have a lot of schools and a lot of training. So they take it just as serious as they do everywhere else. So I would love
Yeah.
to see the United Kingdom make a comeback in the wrestling scene for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're doing pretty good now. AEW is going over there, they're supposed to be going back over there. And I don't know what your opinion on AEW is, but it's good for them that they had a gigantic crowd. You kind of chuckled when I said that.
I love it. I love wrestling
Yeah.
altogether. AEW,
Same.
Impact, MLW, they all bring something different to the table. And AEW is doing it. They got the run for their money with the WWE right now. So they gotta
After
do their
this,
thing.
after this past weekend, it was a huge shot at them. So, and it's just that was, I don't know, it was definitely a shot at them, and it's kind of amusing in a way. But they both did it. Both sides did it, whether it be Punk and WWE did it to take a gigantic shot at that after the experience there. And I'm okay with that, man. It's a gigantic wrestling war going on again today.
Yeah, business is booming. I mean, in every sense, everywhere, all over the country, everywhere in the world. It's a good thing. There's nothing but good, positive vibes. When everybody's in competition, that can only mean more work for everybody, which is what it's supposed to be like.
And the independents are flourishing. They're doing great out, in here. And the Northeast has a wonderful scene, which you're both of us are a part of the scene here in the northeastern part of the United States.
Yes, sir. It's one of the hottest locations for a lot of up and comers. There's a lot of new guys, and there's a lot of established guys that are just ready to go. And then the good thing is that there's plenty of stages for us to check out and explore what we
there's a number to the table. A number of big companies that people could sign with and make a decent living out of
for sure.
These days, definitely more than probably there has been in decades, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a different time. We're definitely in a great time in wrestling, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely. It's hard to keep up with, especially as a fan, and I myself doing media and writing for a website. It's so impossible to keep up with everything, but I try.
Yeah, literally, it's Monday through Sunday.
Yes, and then it starts all over again. And it's what I don't like is when there's just all these shows on at the same exact time, and I have to pick and choose. That's the other thing.
Yeah, no, it's like a fear of missing out, but that's good that there's streams and YouTube, and you could just catch up later on your drive to work or on the way back. There's always ways to watch it, anyways, which is good. And social media helps a lot with catching everything.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you about some of the companies that you worked with, if you're good with that. I know some of them might seem random, but there are companies that I'm very familiar with, so I wanted to get your opinion. You work for start with out of New Jersey, ECPW, Gino Caruso's group. Did you have interactions with Gino Caruso while you were out there? This is all stuff. I did a lot of research this afternoon while trying to get ready.
Yeah, man. I was at Gino's. I actually trained out there in Lake Hiawatha a couple times, and I met a lot of the guys. Kenny Bengal is one of my good friends. Sonny Kiss. I got another Antonio Sambrano, one of my good friends. We used to tag team in ECPW. We were champs there for like 2 years. Frankie Flo, Junior Flo, all the great workers from Jersey. And that's one of the first spots I went to after Johnny's. And I was like, let me check out what the scene is out here. And they gave you a stage. It was also on public access, and I even had my family pass by one weekend, one Friday, and just check me out. I was like, wow. So the word gets out, the tickets and the presentation gets out. So that let me know that out there there's more wrestling, way more wrestling out there from being in New York for a couple of years practicing, and then finally going a state over, seeing how people react and how everything works. I mean, every promotion is different. Every promotion is different. There's structure. But, you always go to the promoter and ask them, hey, what is it that you want me to put out there? And are you satisfied with the product? And ECPW was where I cut my teeth, and I became a tag team champ for about 2 years with my old partner Antonio Sambrano. So he's doing this thing in Wrestling Open a lot every Thursday too. Catch him out there on IWTV.
I watch it just about every week. So it's a very popular show these days in the northeastern between Connecticut and Massachusetts. Yeah. So it's there's a lot of guys, a lot of people we know are going out there. So
yeah,
it's incredible.
It's a great opportunity for guys for sure.
Yeah. And ECPW, that's a very old school run type of operation. So he's been around. Gino's been around since the 80s, I believe.
Yeah, Gino's been doing his thing, and he always runs shows. He always puts on the announcement doing the dates, and everybody already knows what dates he's doing, and they're like, "Hey, I'm available." So, yeah, Gino's still keeping it together for the boys and the up and comers who need a stage to present their art.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with why don't we choose this one next? You just mentioned it a little bit earlier, DJ Hyde, but talking about you worked CZW a couple times, right?
Yeah, man. I did a lot of the tapings, the Dojo Wars.
Yep.
I had spent a couple practices there, and DJ pretty much showed me the way to get out there and present my character in a different way, in a different light, a little bit more extreme. Combat Zone Wrestling, they're always known for their deathmatch style, and they have so many different characters, and CCW kind of helped me show a more violent side of Jay Vara, the complete one, and to tweak it a little bit, add a little bit of edge to it. And the rest was history. As soon as I went to Germany, I was like, okay, I knew exactly what DJ was talking about when he was like, check out these styles and implement them to your character. So I thank DJ for that, and I opening the doors to go overseas. I give him a lot of credit for that, and then he'll continue to help out the boys. TZW is still running strong.
That's amazing because it's just amazing that a company could last that long, especially an independent company. There's not many that have lasted nearly as long. It's over 20 years. I know that much.
Yeah, they've been around, man.
Yeah,
they're specialists at that deathmatch style.
That's not my favorite. It's not my favorite style. I mean, you'll hear me on this show talk about it. It's not my favorite style, but there is an audience for it, and
oh yeah,
I'm not that audience. yeah. It's a very small audience, but it's they're just
it's a niche audience.
I think that. Yeah, absolutely. I think I first met you at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, which is, when they were doing the Alley Fight series. And I'm going back, and I was finding footage that I actually recorded, which
okay.
You had wrestled Clipper Jones on an Alley Fights. I don't know if you've ever been on their bigger shows, but maybe just the shows at the dojo. Am I correct?
Yeah, I did 2 shows, outside shows, and I did the Dojo Wars. The Dojo
Alley Fights.
Alley Fights. Sorry about that.
Right.
And they always bring new up and coming talent, and you kind of test the waters, see what fits, and it's cool. It's a cool vibe. It's like Dojo Wars. They did a little mix of talent, and they implement all these new guys, and then they want to see where they're at, where they're learning, where their skills are at. So I got paired up with Clipper, who is actually from Team 3D, and we're like brothers in a way, because Devon got taught by Johnny, and Devon and Bubba taught him. So as soon as I met him, I was like, "What's going on? We're going one-on-one tonight." And then they asked me, "Where'd you train?" And I'm like, "I trained at Gleason's and Johnny Rodz." And it's like, bro, it's like we got trained by the same guy, because Devon and Bubba always mention Johnny and give him his props. So it's cool to see the next generation of Johnny guys teaching the younger guys. And look at that. We went one-on-one at a PAPW, and it was a meeting of the styles clashing, which is really cool.
Yeah, and he's a very popular young wrestler in the in our area. He's really getting out there. A lot of people are getting really into him, so that's good for him. Yeah. And I think he just made, if I'm correct, he just made his Coliseum Pro debut at the last show.
Yeah, the last one I
think
was at. Yep.
Yeah, and you were at that show, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now I guess we can just skip ahead and go to Coliseum Pro Wrestling. I believe you're supposed to initially wrestle Johnny Santos, but then Sebastian Cage had to step in. Is this correct? My information?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Johnny
Okay.
Santos bailed out. And
Yes, he was hiding from you. Yeah.
He knew what was coming. I bumped into Johnny Santos plenty of times, and yeah, we brought shoulders plenty of times. Got in the ring, and it happened to be his tag partner. Just happened to be there, and I had to knock him down, get that W because pretty much First Class, they're menaces in the East Coast right now. You'll see them lurking, all these promotions, and they're getting on my nerves. But somebody's got to take care of them, and turns out the little superstar got shut down that night at CPW.
Yeah, and that actually is up on my YouTube. So anybody that's listening wants to check it out, go check it out because you're in for a fantastic match. You can hear my beautiful voice doing commentary over it as well. So
yes, sir.
Cheap plug. So
thanks.
Let's see.
Thanks for the plug too, bro.
So, of course, you said that those guys, the First Class, are menaces,
Yes.
and they also wrestle for New Age, which is Richard Blake's company. Who I think Richard Blake is a tremendous gentleman. He puts on a really good product. I had the chance to work there, and I really do like the show. The one show that I did work there, I thought beginning to end was just a fantastic show. It was kind of an old school operation.
Yeah.
As far as the fans were just like the guys, the wrestlers, you know, knew they had the fans eating out of the palm of their hands, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was just, they had the crowd did not go quiet throughout the entire evening. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. And it was just great. It was just a great experience.
When was that show that you went to? I'm curious. Was that
I think
the mall?
It was
Eastfield Mall?
Yeah, it was the final one that was in the mall before he shut down, and now he reopened. I'm trying to remember because I don't remember exactly the event. But
yeah, it was I believe it was in September. I missed that one. I'm so sorry I missed that one. I wanted to be part of the last show at the Eastfield Mall because we had a nice little following there. And actually that crowd followed us to the new building. So hopefully we're able to go back to Massachusetts and give you guys that little cult gathering. You know, it was slowly building up more and more, and it's unfortunate that the mall had to close. But we're trying to keep that energy going in 2024. So I'm glad that you enjoyed the show. It's a lot of work. It was about 2 years of building and promoting and helping that building, and we had a nice little family in there and a crowd, and they followed us, so hopefully it continues in 2024.
I'm sure it will. It might take a little time. And I know there's good product. I've watched the video of the new venue, and it's a great venue. And hopefully I'll be coming back. According to conversations, I will be coming back. I had to actually cancel my last one.
Doors are always open, bro.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble with my father's been a little ill as of late, and I had to take care of him. So, Richard was more than understanding. So I'm sure I'll be back, and I had a blast coming at that show, by the way. So, yeah, and so you were just mentioning how First Class are just menaces. They're tearing everybody apart. Them, Chris Cage, they're all together. They're just wreaking havoc. Now it's leaking over into Coliseum Pro Wrestling as well.
Spreading.
What's up with these guys? Yeah,
these guys just don't know.
It's like germs, man.
Yeah, man. These guys are spreading like bacteria. They're everywhere slowly. And honestly, I got to put a stop to it, whether it's stopping Chris Cage and taking this championship or just knocking everybody out one by one. Every show I see them, whether it's a one-on-one, whether it's a tag match, doesn't matter who my tag partner is. First Class has to go down. And, Chris Cage has a shiny little championship over his shoulder. I kind of want to see what happens. I'm going to try to ruffle the feathers and see if NAW could give me a little shot. I mean, I did win my last match. Hopefully I'm the next in line. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. You've been working pretty hard over there at New Age, so maybe you maybe you should deserve that. So, Richard, you're hearing me say it. That'd be a great match.
Management. You heard it first here. Come on.
There you go.
Complete One needs a chip.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the next Coliseum show that's this weekend or no?
This one, no, I won't be there. But
Yeah.
I see the card building up, so I appreciate that. And awesome, guys. You guys are killing it. So definitely. Are you going to be there?
Oh, absolutely. I got to be there.
Cool.
So the one thing about that is at first I didn't think it was going to be because it was kind of a last minute show put together. And then once everything started to come together, I literally said, man, this is going to be one of the best shows we've ever had. Literally looking at on paper, it's going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah, man. I wish I could be there next time, if anything, and kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it, guys. You guys do your thing every time. Sure.
Yeah. It's, you know, and I know I'm going to put it out there on we're talking about them a little bit earlier, but Nick Payne and Hakim are behind the booking committee. And
yes, sir.
I'm telling you, man, those guys know exactly what they're doing when they're going to put on a professional wrestling product because they kill it every time. Yes, they don't go for, a lot of lackluster stuff. So,
yeah, they got everything organized well. Future promoters in my eyes, honestly.
Complete professionals as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So
big shout out to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me, all right. So we just talked about all right. So we talked about First Class tearing people up. But what do you think of, say, Johnny Santos and Sebastian Cage as professional wrestlers, not necessarily their BS that they do?
Well, Johnny Santos, the idea that he pairs up with Chris Cage, a guy who's been in the game for years.
Yeah.
These guys are talented. And to think that they are listening to Chris Cage is a little bit alarming. Johnny Santos, a lot of promise. Lucha Libre Promotions champion, Sebastian Cage, multiple time champion, and then aligning themselves with Chris Cage. It's a little bit little worrisome, but as athletes, they get the job done. You see it all the time. As a tag team, they're amazing. So they're a threat for sure. And I got to keep an eye on those guys because they're another pair that has some gold, and gold is calling me in 2024. So if I get a partner, Johnny Santos, the list superstar, I beat you already. So to beat you two guys would definitely be a bucket list accomplishment and getting the championship while I'm at it. So keep an eye out for that.
Absolutely. You mentioned him earlier when we were talking about Johnny Rodz, but somebody that he's come up a lot lately on this program by several men have mentioned him, but Steve Pena, and talking about his influence. And in you, I actually found a match of you two today, and I think it was pretty old, actually. It's a few years old.
A couple years back. It was for Evolve.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Gabe Sapolsky, who right now he's in the WWE. So he always gave me great advice. I've done so many seminars with Evolve, and I just wish it never got shut down. I wish I could always go back and get that knowledge and that tutelage to keep progressing, keep changing, keep doing what I'm doing, or stop doing what I'm doing. It's always honest, straight to the point, and that's pretty much what you pay for in a seminar, and how you present yourself and what you bring to the table. So that match, Pena, one of my colleagues that we pretty much grew up together at Gleason's, and he has his path, I have mine, completely different styles. He's his own style. I'm pretty much lucha technical and complete style. So Pena is a good friend of mine, and I wish him luck in his career. He's an awesome competitor, and I wouldn't mind locking up one more time and seeing where we're at now in our careers. We're in a different part of our careers, so it would be cool to see how that match comes together.
Just mentioned, I'm going to get off topic a little bit, but the Evolve shutting down and being purchased by WWE ultimately, and Gabe Sapolsky getting hired, it was a company that struggled for many, many years financially. But I got to tell you, they were ahead of the game, if you will. They were doing that style for probably a good 5-6 years, if not more, before guys, and all those guys ended up in NXT eventually. So that's, NXT was basically another extension of it, so to speak, not necessarily. But what an incredible product it was, and it's very sad to see it gone because it was always a very fun product. I did attend the one show when they in New Haven, Connecticut,
Yeah,
when they came here. I was at that, and that was a number of years ago. And
it was amazing.
man,
I bet.
boy, yeah, of course, it was amazing, and there was a lot of great talent there. And it's
Yeah,
sad to see when a company that you really like goes under. I'm not going to say that it went under, but it's not the same as Ring of Honor's, for the last few years. And then when it got purchased by AEW, it's just not the same company that it was for,
yeah,
2006. That was an incredible brand.
yeah. Very, very. Evolve was like a funnel into the big time. If you see Evolve, you watch it when it's on Peacock now. You see their
Yeah.
shows,
Yep.
WXW and Evolve, and they have a great presentation, and that's where you want to be if you're an independent wrestler. Well, not anymore since it's defunct, but it was a great place to be, and for you to get looked at and move on to the next level in professional
Yeah.
wrestling. So it was a great place to grow and show your skills.
Yeah. And Gabe is now whatchamacallit, the scout for the, is it for NXT now? Or is it just WWE as a whole?
Yeah, WWE altogether. I spoke to
Yeah.
him the other day actually, so
Oh,
he's
really?
really, really, man. It's like he moved up with everybody else. It's like he was at Evolve. They didn't leave him behind. They took him right with like you're coming with us. So really
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool for him, though. I mean, that's not an easy place to get hired at.
No.
Tell me about now this guy. He goes by the nickname Top Five Dead or Alive, and it's I'm not gonna say he's wrong, but Sammy Diaz. You had a chance to work with that guy, who's probably literally one of the top five in the northeastern United States.
Sammy Diaz scaling the ranks. I remember
Yeah.
I went against him at XWA at a taping a couple years back, and that's
Hmm.
another great place to learn and pretty much get your art, get your stuff out there.
They
Sammy
shut down
Diaz was
too.
a
Yeah.
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 He was a great opponent. I actually went against him at TOS, one of the actual student shows that they do. I forgot it was training day.
Training day. Yep.
And yeah, Sammy Diaz always had it. He had the skills in the ring. He could definitely do it in the ring, and it would be nice to bump into him again. I mean, Sammy Diaz is everywhere right now. More
Yeah.
power to him, and shout out to him. He was a great opponent at XWA when we went
Yeah.
against each other that year.
Yeah. And of course, I'm going to say this one, Jarrett Diaz, who that guy is also that guy. He went out to Germany as well, WXW, when he was
Yeah.
Paradise Alley United States champion. He went out there. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
That was
So
his first time overseas. I think it was this year, so I'm happy for him. He's another one, cutting his teeth, talented guy, very punchable face, but he's doing his thing. So shout out to Jared Diaz. Keep it up, man. Doing your thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to mention. Maybe I can just throw these two together. That because they wrestled in the last Coliseum show. That they're both returning one way or the other. Alan Bano and Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor has gotten. I remember Chris Taylor when he worked Paradise Alley, and he didn't seem to have much of a personality, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
But now it's a few years later, and he's come into a different character. He's got the the mask, and he seems to be over very much with the fans.
Yeah, the Millennial Dragon Taylor.
Yeah.
I know him. I know this kid for years. From New York also, and he definitely found himself with that character. The Millennial Dragon is doing his thing, and they eat it up. The crowd loves it. And Alan Bano, anytime Alan Bano, another guy I went against at Coliseum Pro Wrestling, coming up, he's making his rounds too. If you've seen him, PAPW, he goes to VST, he's at CPW. He's doing exactly what he has to do. And another guy who got trained from Bubba and the Devon 3D Academy. All these guys are doing their thing, and they have to. The most important thing is consistency. Just staying on the ball and just keep going. It's never gonna. It's not gonna stop anytime soon, especially when you just started. Got to keep going. So Alan Bano, Chris Taylor, shout out to those guys.
How does this professional wrestling, how does it affect your life as far as like your personal life? Do you guys, I know, do you have a family and all that such? Are they very understanding? I know sometimes it's very hard. I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm getting too personal here or not, but
no, no, definitely not. It's a process. I've started actually getting back into wrestling. My son was born last year in October, so it's been a
congratulations.
thank you, man. And it's life changing and
Yes.
really, really cool to see, to see everything happening. And then now getting back into wrestling. I hope I didn't fall off too much because I'm trying to stay on the money and stay consistent. So trying my best, but yeah, it's a lot of juggling and
Yeah.
getting the hang of things. It's new for me, and it's only gonna get better, more interesting, a lot more challenges. So it's a trip,
Yeah.
but you love it. You love it. You want both, a little bit of both. You want your personal life to actually go well while you chase this career that you just fell in love with since I was young. I'm sure you watched it
Same
since you
here.
was young
Yeah.
too.
Almost
And
40 years I've been watching wrestling. So,
yeah, man, pretty much all my life too.
yeah.
So I do want to make things work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could always manage. If there's a will, there's a way. You
Right.
know, and it's very challenging, but I'm here. I'm doing it.
You're gonna give him something to be proud of. You know what I mean? He's gonna
Exactly.
be able to see his
Bingo.
father. You know what I mean? It's not like you do make some television appearances for independent promotions, and you're out there doing your thing, and
Yeah.
he's gonna like that. He's gonna automatically think his dad's a superstar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's gonna be proud of that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm so looking forward to him watching and then seeing what he
Yeah.
thinks. I don't even care if he like completely said like whatever. I just want him to watch and explore like what he sees, which would be cool when the time comes. So
Yeah,
very cool
absolutely.
to experience that.
Absolutely. I forgot to ask you. I was going to ask you about your appearance at Tetsu, which did I say that? Or did I? No, you made your
No, we
debut
didn't
there.
talk about that.
That was
Yeah,
off air, correct? That was off air. We talked about it. And you wrestled
yeah.
Jekyll. You had to remind me about that. Jekyll's another one, a Paradise Alley student who's, he just made his return after a slight, I guess he
A
was, I don't know if
hiatus,
he was
no?
out. Yeah, hiatus. I don't know if he was out because of injury or what, but I got to say, there's somebody, I invited a friend to that show and they said that they had one of the best shows that they've ever been to in a very long time. And they
Nice.
actually spoke about your match specifically, and they said that they really enjoyed watching
Awesome.
Vara. Yeah, so
That's so cool, man. Hey,
yeah,
hopefully they could have me back and see that crowd again. That crowd
yeah,
definitely responded to our match and to me and to Jekyll. So shout out to Tetsu Pro. They're doing their thing. I see them slowly building up and
yeah.
doing more shows. I know they've been around for a year, no?
It's been, I believe, just over a year. So
Okay.
yeah. But what do you think of that? Because it's a kind of a different style in a way because they have the 6-sided ring,
I've never
which
been in a six-sided
no,
ring. That was
tell
my
me,
first time.
yeah, was it
Oh
difficult
man.
at all, or
Yes. Footwork. Like
yeah,
I'm like trying to find my footing. And it was interesting. I've always watched Impact TNA wrestling,
yeah,
and I'm like, I wonder how. And everybody always mentions it's a little weird, locking up and doing a lot of drills in the 6-sided ring. But I finally got to be in a 6-sided ring, and it was awesome. I was a little bit like confused on how to do things, but I managed.
yeah.
And yeah,
And I guess the ropes are a little bit tighter, I guess, the way that it's put together. So it's
yeah,
they're
yeah.
kind of harder to come off of, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it was an interesting time, but I managed.
Yeah.
Thank God, I got out of there alive.
So I mean, there you go. Just and TNA's coming back, so if they
Yeah,
decide to have a 6-sided ring, there you go. You got experience. So in a
yeah, I
6-sided ring.
know, definitely.
so
But
so
I seriously always wanted to wrestle in a 6-sided ring, and it just bam, it just came
yeah,
into my life. I'm like, yes, let's do it.
yeah. I've heard from several people that it's a little confusing, and it's definitely something to get used to because they're not, you know, it's
Yeah,
something different. Yeah.
so used to 4 sides, and it's so simple. And then when you add another 2, you're like, you don't even know where to go sometimes, trying to figure it out. But you get the hang of it a couple times.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you: is there any plans on you coming to maybe Blood, Sweat, and Tears, BST, in
Oh man,
Connecticut?
I would love to. I've seen Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I've seen a lot of the guys go up there from New York, and I would love to make an appearance at BST. That is a plan for sure. If not in the rest of 2023, in 2024, let's make it happen. I'll definitely be down.
Yeah. Cool. I'd love to see you there. They put on a really good quality product. Each show is a banger, and it's always packed. I'll tell you that.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's very good to know. I would love to participate, and shout out to them. They're doing their thing also. Another new promotion, no?
It's been around. Well, they started before the pandemic. Like, I think they ran like 3 or 4 shows and then, shut down. Yeah. And then because of the pandemic, and then I wasn't going to attend. Like, literally, I was just like, it was in some, like, it seemed like it was in a bar or something like that. So it's like, I'm not going to. And I heard some weird things about it, but then I was just like, then after that, they came back after the pandemic and stuff like that. And I was like, some of my friends are over there. I'll go down and check it out. And I ended up literally having a great time each time. So it was kind of bad. It kind of felt bad that I sat there and kind of blew off the earlier shows. And they had like their earliest ring was like a 10x10 ring, which is like super small.
Yeah, man.
So,
man, I can't even imagine that, but cool. Now I know that, but I'm sure they've upgraded. I'm sure it's not a 10x10.
Yes, they do. They get a real ring. They're getting their, and from what I understand, they're getting their own ring. So that's the other thing. So,
nice.
Cool. So is there any other promotions that you plan on hitting up in 2024?
2024, I'm going to North Carolina in January 6th. It's UPWA.
UPWA. My buddy, my buddy attends those shows that lives down there, and I believe what's the guy's name that comes up here? Ray Pittman wrestles there.
Yeah.
I believe
that's my bro. Cool guy. Definitely.
He's a good guy. Yeah. I met him a couple times because of a mutual friend. And what's the other guy? Is it Kenny Bangle? Is he the one that goes down there?
Yeah,
I think
Kenny also.
I think they might be tag champs down there, right?
Yeah, they're the tag champs. Another great promotion is giving me a chance in Jersey. He comes up here in Jersey. Yep. And now he's going he's running shows in back home, North Carolina. They're based out of North Carolina. So I'll start off my year in North Kakalaki and then work my way back to the East Coast. So that'll be cool.
Nice. Any international plans for in the works?
Oh man. I have nothing right now. But I definitely want to go back to Mexico.
Yeah,
and
before we get out of here,
why
don't you tell me about your trip to Mexico before we?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we still got a few minutes left. Yeah,
I feel like that's where I should have gone years ago.
Really,
it was like so eye opening, and I was just like, why didn't I do this earlier? And I've had so many. Not that I had opportunities before. Yeah, consideration to go down there. I wanted to actually just make the trip myself. But I knew a promoter, Javier Claudio, and he just pretty much told me, just check it out, give it like a week or two, and then go from there. So I trained with Pequeño Pierrot, who's a hell of a teacher. Scade and Bandito School. Bandito has a school out there in Mexico City, which was awesome facility. It's like they got everything there, everything you need. I would recommend Bandito School to anybody who goes down to Mexico. I also trained with the Mexican Lucha Libre alleged Black Terry, who's his son is running for Black Terry. What an amazing experience training in the arena. I felt like I was in Greece or something, but it was Mexico, and it was like an indoor arena, just doing crazy types of drills. And last but not least, Ultimo Guerrero, awesome. Wow. I got to see him at Coliseum in the actual arena in Mexico, and to train with him like the 2 days prior was everything to me. I was just like, I marked out, and I was like, bro,
it's okay. It's all right.
I would love to live here. I just wanted to stay there for like a month and just keep exploring and training. I'm not gonna lie to you, the training is unbelievable. But
Wow.
it's something I recommend every professional wrestler anywhere to go check out. Mexico, wrestling, lucha libre in Mexico. It's like a religion.
Yes.
It's amazing. So I definitely recommend anybody pursuing this as a career, go down to Mexico and cut your teeth down there. It's definitely a place to check out and explore. And plus, the food is amazing.
I would love to go down there because it's just, I guess you can say I'm a mark. I just, I want to visit. There's so many places I want to visit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
man. And I'm also like a wrestling history nerd when it comes to that stuff. So I get wrapped up in this, and it might be a little too much. My wife doesn't seem to understand. She doesn't like wrestling. So
bro, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm in the same boat.
She lets me be me for the most part, but another time she just rolls her eyes and will just, she very rarely sits down and watches shows. The one show she will sit and watch with me, definitely every year is Royal Rumble.
But that's the funnest one to watch.
That's one of my favorite events of the year. And she actually sat in the room and watched everything up until midway through the main event for Survivor Series, and then she's like, she of course was like, just tell me if Punk comes out at the end, and then it's like, all right. And she didn't care either way, but she knew how I'd react.
That's so funny. That's hilarious.
So it's funny. So
Royal Rumble is fun, man. The Royal Rumble is fun to watch with anybody. You don't even have to watch it religiously. It's just a good experience.
Yeah, and the funny part is like she'll sit there and take my notes for me as I'm watching it. So and then I usually just go live and talk about it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so she cares a little bit. So,
Cool,
so I want to thank you for doing this. This is fun.
Man.
Definitely gonna have to have you back here at some time in the future. I'd love to.
Definitely.
Probably. And if you want to just shout out your socials and so where people can find you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Rick, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much for having me. I'll definitely come on here whenever you guys need. And you can catch me on Twitter. I'm sorry, X now. It's not Twitter.
Oh,
it's
X, yes.
The Waymaker 12. Also on Instagram is The Waymaker 12. And on Facebook is JAY_VARA. Guys, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I want everybody to go check out all the socials. Go to YouTube, search Vara, and I guarantee you will be interested in this. So I guarantee.